And not only that, but he gave a shout out to Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. After that, talk about America being back, everyone. And with that, so is the Meme Ranch. And here we have Blue Slush once again here on the show tonight.
What up, everybody?
And we have got quite a show prepared for you guys tonight. We have basically been going through the gauntlet on all the new information out today, especially all of the deportation news that is making the rounds. We are going to mass deport everyone who is not a citizen in this country. So you better be on the lookout if you are in the country illegally, because we are not going to take it.
That's right. Kalen, me, and Slush here. We're gonna deport everybody. Look out! Here we come.
Yeah. No, actually, you know who is going to be deporting is Mr. Holmes, Mr. Holman himself.
This guy is the Clint Eastwood. He's the Dirty Harry of the Trump second administration.
Check this out.
You're done. You're done. You're done.
It's so dramatic. But yeah, no, I mean, I think this guy's going to get a lot of work done, and I think that he's basically kind of the hatchet man for the crisis that we've seen the last 4 years, and even beyond 4 years. I mean, immigration has always been a crisis that we can't seem to get resolved. But not everyone on MAGA world is really thrilled about some of the stuff that they're hearing, though. I heard Mike Johnson on the morning shows talking about the idea of getting more visas out, making it easier to immigrate. And I thought that was kind of an interesting thread, because, that's something that I've often appealed to with people who are wary of Trump's immigration, is that, well, it's not necessarily that he wants to kick a bunch of people out. He just wants people to be here paying taxes, and being, contributors to society. So
I think he wants to kick a bunch of people out.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, if we're going to have immigrants in here, we want to make sure that they're, that they're documented and have papers, and want to, pay taxes. That's also important.
Let me ask a question. Do you think Johnson's actually MAGA world?
I think that he thought he was when he came out at UFC the other night.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think he. And again, I said MAGA world's not happy about it. Like I'm not saying he is MAGA world. I'm saying that that's something that he came out and said that was he was here during the UFC fight. Here's this other angle.
I think they're trying to get Johnson like around the cool kids to get him to like go along with what the new plan is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was entirely sort of like, the point is to like make him, I guess, more, appealable, because I mean, this guy, we're talking about a guy who didn't have any photos of himself on AP photos like a year ago.
Yeah.
And now here we are, looking at, the Speaker of the House with Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard and freaking everyone, Dana White, here at UFC, bringing TV back, after it's been so just boring and monotonous. I mean, by the way, we're seeing
I felt like he was like photoshopped in all these in all the scenes that you saw. It's like he didn't belong. He was like the sore thumb or something.
He's such a dork.
He's like, got the smile with the like. He just looked like he didn't belong with all the cool guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, remember whenever he had that like weird like porn monitoring app with his son?
Whoa!
No.
Yeah, like him and his son have this like ability to like monitor each other's like online searches. So basically, they keep like accountability with each other. That I'm sure they don't ever watch porn because they don't want to detect that whenever it would happen. So
this is that's like a purity ring for like a father and son, like electronically.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I don't want to condone my son looking at vile things online, but I don't really know if I want to know if he is. But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the way that they don't look at those things. But I digress. Speaking of looking at things that are hard to watch, we're seeing Joe Jungle Edition here in the middle of Amazonia. Dude just freaking despawned after he finished his scripted speech. Watch this. Someone's shaking a maraca.
I hadn't seen this. It looks like an SNL skit. What in the world?
Bro just goes off into the distance.
Like you drop your controller on the floor and the analog stick like goes up and it's just stuck and he just goes in one direction like that.
Yeah, he's trying to farm. He's trying to make sure he doesn't disconnect, so he's got to, place his stick on
Kamal
the
told him to
carpet.
pet the alligator.
Yeah.
It's back here, Joe. Come on. Pet him. His name's Trump.
Are we Joe Bros now? Do we kind of like Joe Biden just a little bit? Are we?
No.
Or are we?
No. Mm-mm.
What about all those like crazy edits? I wish I had one queued up. I'm talking about where it's like them like hatching out their plans to like get back at Harris. There's so many edits out there like that. You guys have seen them, right?
Oh yeah, like the Linkin Park one. That's my favorite. I love that.
Yeah, this is so good. What was the other? Oh yeah, there was the that Trump mech video that was out today. What that was crazy, right?
Yeah, that was some crazy production into that. Wow.
Let me see if I can find that. What was the title of that video? Oh, I found it. Let's get this one going. Yeah, I mean this is in the vein of deportation. This is exactly what it's gonna look like.
Yep.
No CGI needed.
¿Qué pues, pinche gringo mamón? Si tengo mi green card.
So if I have my green
Thanks for your
card.
collaboration, and remember, don't come back again.
Y el gringo nos quiere cobrar el
Orange
muro.
Man thinks we're going to pay
Dile
for
que
the
no,
wall.
pinche gringo racista.
Wait, it finds a
No te
woman.
pagaremos nada.
You get nothing
Wait a
from
minute,
us.
please.
Somos gente honrada y...
Holy crap. From the crotch. What the hell?
Oh my god, no.
What is that from?
I think someone just made it. Like they just thought that it was necessary to be out there.
I
I got something in the chat from 2016. It was a Japanese Trump commercial. This is fucking cinema. It reminds me of that.
Oh, let's get it.
This is, you guys are gonna love this. It's gorgeous.
Oh, this is. Oh wait, I think I've seen this before. Hang on. Let's get this.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, no, I have not seen this.
Oh, I remember this.
He did the DX stuck it, dude.
Yes.
Gundam Trump, bro.
I do remember part of that.
2016. 2016. Have you guys ever seen that Nigerian video? It's called 2016. It's called Saving Private something or other. It's like a spoof.
Saving Private Alex
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something. Fuck, yeah, it was the Ugandan cinema. That's what it was.
Ugandan cinema. Yeah, yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
Or Who Killed Captain Alex? That's who it was.
2016. Never seen this. Yeah, it's one of those things that like feels vaguely familiar. I've seen other Japanese like homages to Trump before.
Believe it or not, I think that was clipped a lot. That's why it doesn't look familiar. But I remember seeing the end of it a few times on some different clips. So it was never out there as like a full video that I remember.
Well, I'm glad that we just witnessed that because honestly, like 2016 vibes, man, that was an edit that only could have existed back then. And that was like, that felt so Nyan Cat adjacent, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it kind of felt like it was like back in that back whenever they used to like auto tune the news, you know, kind of like that era. Good times, honestly. I miss those like
yeah.
what's that?
Like yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, there was so much stuff from back then that was just, you know, pure Kino. But
Do we have some more stuff from over the weekend?
yeah, we do actually. We talked about that speech that Jon Jones gave, but we have the full speech actually that I wanted to play a little bit because it really, to me, it really just shows how back we are. Like this is so beautiful.
I want to acknowledge Jesus Christ. I tell you what,
Volume's down a little low.
I cannot take credit for gifts like this, man.
It's as up as possible.
Okay.
And I know that there's millions of people around the world watching right now. And I just want to let you guys know that Jesus loves you so much. I also want to say a big thank you to President Donald Trump for being here tonight.
I'm so glad there's some sports and media that's not controlled by corporate America.
USA, let's go.
It's like the polar opposite of the NFL, and I love.
That's what it's all about, man. I think that this could, you know, maybe I'm a little bit optimistic, but I feel like that this could kind of begin to set a new standard for what people want to see at their sports and entertainment shows. Like I think that, you know, it's not going to get better before it gets a little bit more worse. Maybe we'll see some new renditions of the kneeling during the pledge or whatever the next phase of that is. But I think that we're going to start to see a tide shift and people just shitting on America because I think that's.
I've got
that's
something.
out.
Yeah, I've got something that basically, you know how Breitbart always said politics is downstream from culture. I think Trump's maybe the exception to this rule because Trump, through his political message MAGA, has flipped the script, and now his politics, his political message has made culture great because you're starting to see things like this fight where the guy's coming out and is like, I'm proud to be American, I'm proud to be Christian, I'm proud to like speak it to the audience here today. And that would have never happened had Trump not introduced the concept of MAGA and then been a champion for it. You know, when you get shot in the face and you get up and go fight, that makes the culture change and embrace that message. So it's almost like he used a political message to make culture great.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was gonna play this Hulk Hogan video too because it reminds me of, you know, like all these songs that like play at Trump rallies and stuff like that. Like the one, you know, like about being proud to be an American, and the YMCA. I remember, like, I feel like these songs really appeal to people on a subconscious level. Me especially, because whenever I was a kid, we used to sing these songs on these every Friday kind of they were called like Rise and Shine things where we would all gather in the auditorium and sing the same songs, at least two of them that Trump uses along his campaign trail. And meanwhile, you know, at that time, people like Hulk Hogan were, you know, living legends to people and stuff like that. And I'm 28, so I feel that all this comeback right now is just kind of really just kind of appealing to people on levels that they don't quite realize. You know, some of it might be kind of
Nostalgia.
campy, of course, nostalgia, yeah, but some of it might be kind of campy or cheesy. But the fact that we are sort of retreating to these pastimes, I I feel like UFC is just going to see like a huge bump. Like, it ebbs and flows, and I think that UFC is going to get more popular under this administration just because of all the champions and
I mean,
support.
Jones
You
is
know?
really going to be embraced because of what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, they better make action figures of that guy.
Can you do the Trump dance for us?
Agenda's a
please?
legend, man.
I want to see you do it.
Oh my god.
Gotta put the lips
Okay.
up though.
You got it. You got the gun still, Hulk. I
What's
love
up,
it.
Trumpomaniacs?
We gotta put
It's so good. Oh man, I am appreciating all the chats from the chat. You are lighting it up tonight. We appreciate you. Hearing a guy claim Christianity at sports is wild. Yes, indeed. Culture is changing fast. Thank God. The Chad says, interested in seeing how many grifters show up on YouTube now posing as based. I bet we'll see an influx. Interesting. So basically, people might just do it because, well, I mean, hey, you know what? That's not really that crazy of a prediction because we just saw the Morning Joe people over there on like what network are they on? Is it MSNBC? I forget.
I think so. Yeah, because Posa was
First.
talking about gonna buy the MSNBC network and keep them on. Like it's indentured slavery. They have to be working under Jack Posobiec.
That's so good.
Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
No, but that's hilarious. Well, they went out to Mar-a-Lago to go meet Trump. I guess maybe against their will.
Do you have that?
Yeah, let's see if we
I know
can.
we talked about it, but I don't know if we queued it up.
Yeah, we didn't get that, but I have it. As
RJ, chime in here, man.
Looks like they had a yummy dinner at the gala.
Yeah, let's get that pulled up.
What is
again.
that exactly?
The gala?
Yeah.
Past week, Joe and I have heard from so many
I don't
people,
know.
from political leaders
maybe it was
to
like a
regular
Mar-a-Lago gala.
citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just
Do they look like
that.
they're being held hostage?
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to
The guy
meet
on the right's making a
personally
weird
with
face.
President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him
Like he's up
in
to
7
something.
years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come
Where was
as
that
no
conversation
surprise
last
to
4
anybody
years?
who watches this show, has watched
could've
it over
used
the
some of that.
past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask
I love how they
back,
have to explain it to their audience like they're like on the verge of having a tantrum, which a lot of them did. Like, but it's just like, it's like the fact that they realize that is just so pathetic. Like, don't talk as if you realize that. Just talk to them. Like, cause this is that type of like padding in your speech is the thing that's basically sending signals to the people who are like really irate about this whole event to like get upset, and that's just going to lead to more people unsubscribing. Like, guys, 200,000 people unsubscribed from the Washington Post whenever Jeff Bezos announced that they weren't going to endorse a
Whoa.
candidate.
That's a lot.
That's crazy.
200.
What does that mean, Kalen?
I don't know, because it's like the same people who want like the so-called like
those are all liberal progressive
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. And right now we're seeing these people like they're saying that they want, the news to thrive and for journalists to be able to like report on the truth and stuff like that. But they're simultaneously punishing a news outlet for not backing the candidate that they wanted to win. Like that's you can't have it both ways. It's absolutely ludicrous that we're seeing that type of mental gymnastics going on. Like it's sad.
But
I guess we should expect it, but it's
yeah, we
sad.
should, because the progressives are all about having it both ways. They want to say, you should be considerate of women, but then they can't tell you what a woman is. So they want it both ways, and that doesn't surprise me at all. They would do that.
Yeah, it's like we have to realize. I think at some point we're gonna see. For example, we have this Supreme Court case coming up, and it's going to be argued on December 4th, and it's the transgender case. Tennessee has a law that says minors can't ingest chemical changing, like the things that are going to change their hormones during or before puberty.
How it should be.
Yeah, and like that's a good law, because those are things that a lot of it, like. Now you may say, like, how have 14,000 kids undergone these types of procedures? Because those are according to the studies that have been done like over the past 5 years. 14,000 kids have done this, and they can't undergo these procedures without some sort of adult supervision, parental consent. So there's parents out there that are stupid enough, or they're scared enough because they're told that the only route that their kid might take if they aren't given this type of treatment is suicide. Like that is what that's what they're being told by doctors who have sworn an oath to do no harm. So I think that what we're seeing right now is, how are people going to keep going along with that? Because you can't look past the harm that is done early on. You can say everything you want, like it's affirming care, whatever. But if the amount of regrets begin to rise, and you see adults growing up living with decisions that they made when they were younger, that maybe some of them were coerced into doing. Like,
yeah, you
it's
could maybe talk me into believing this line of thought if as many people didn't get divorced as they do. That's just marriage.
Yeah, that's a black pill.
So like if marriage was the choice of like taking your gender away physically, people probably wouldn't get married as much.
For sure.
And they certainly wouldn't get divorced as much. I don't know. I mean, if you just compare the two, it's just crazy to think you're going to make that kind of decision that young. Anyway.
It's like when I was in college, like I feel like I was still like figuring shit out. Like I couldn't imagine making a decision like that, like in like fucking middle school. Like, damn.
Yeah. Sorry to kind of go off on that and then tune out. I just started getting calls from my girlfriend.
Oh, no worries.
Oh,
So
she's
I got
listening, Kaylin.
Yeah, she's listening in on us right now. But yeah, no, we were talking about that, like, cognitive dissonance. Oh yeah, speaking of that, we've been talking about the deportations this video, and I think that continuing on that thread and continuing on what we just talked about with the this cognitive dissonance on the left. Here's a good example of that on the immigration issue, is with Governor Katie Hobbs in Arizona.
As you know, Trump has promised
listen to her responses, and also listen to the reporters' framing of these questions, because they're such softball questions, in my opinion, and they don't really get to the core of, like, why the mass immigration is actually a plan. They just state it as if, like, what do you think about the mass immigration? Like, as if it's just some like ominous, force, like, like Trump appointed weird bug to be overseer of the night kind of thing,
As you know, Trump has promised that he would carry out mass deportations on day one of his presidency. Your state is estimated to have 250,000 undocumented immigrants. Some Democrats in your state, like Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallegos, say that she wouldn't allow police to be used to carry out this plan. Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities, and I've been incredibly clear about that.
So you
Oh god, she sounds like a Valley girl, and she's from Arizona. Like, listen to that accent.
I
Did you
never
guys hear
enjoy
that?
listening to NBC or ABC people. They always sound like so weird and cookie cutter and like they don't want to be there.
Oh yeah, I'm just talking about the governor's voice here.
Oh,
Like
the
it's
governor.
yeah, like it's she's
It's the
so
actual
beautiful.
disagree
She does
with
sound like
mass
an
deport.
18-year-old high schooler.
Yeah, 14-year-old high schooler. Yeah, like she's like in some kind of debate club. So you
With
disagree?
mass deportations and the fact that the president-elect says that's what he's going to be working on day one.
Well, I think that those efforts are going to divert needed resources that we need here on these drug interdiction and smuggling and trafficking efforts to keep harm out of our communities. We need those resources here, and the coming here today and seeing this operation firsthand just underscores.
First of all, she's like acting like as if they're going to be like pulling police officers off the streets to like as if somehow like the local police are going to go away and like start snatching up illegal immigrants. Like that's not how ICE works.
They've got to
Yeah.
fix Arizona elections because this is really having bad implications. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've
It's
never
weird
been down
seeing
there.
the governors not care like about like bad things happening. Like in Colorado, they didn't care about the gangs there. Like I think it's the mayor. It's the mayor or the governor that openly spoke like about not doing things about that situation. In Aurora, Colorado, I believe, where the gangs are.
Let's see. The only people really following these news sources are liberals. That's why they were shell shocked by the election. The only sane people watching this stuff is to make fun of it.
I think
We
it's because
should-
most of them are swaying left, like the major sources, and they want to be like, oh yeah, we are the news, like to watch, like for everything, and most of them are swaying left, so I think that's why.
Yeah.
That
I think people who are saying can't believe what they're seeing. It's like watching a car accident in slow motion. That's why I think most people watch it who are saying. I mean, I think the memes get made because people want to make fun of how insane it is, but it's like watching a car crash to me.
Check this out.
As the policy
no.
that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is
Yep.
legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Can't accept the truth.
Mr. Chair, the memo
But feelings.
is submitted to the record for review. Inspector General Costello, one last thing. Zero tolerance was
One last thing.
I'm gonna put forward a nice little theory for you real quick. Ocasio-Cortez, right? AOC. Isn't there a group that was behind bringing her forward as a candidate, Kaylin? Do you know this story?
Yeah, I mean, I could see her being kind of like a project.
She was auditioned, I thought, and then backed. My out there theory about her is somebody found her to become a national figure, a political figure, at the same time the border was open. And she's also a socialist. So I feel like it was a kind of a military pincer move where you get somebody like her who has the right name and the right sounding name to become a leader of all these people coming over the border illegally. And it becomes this force. forced in our politics, where AOC is now speaking for all these people who are over here illegally. I don't know. It's a crazy idea, but why not? Why couldn't that work that way? And maybe it wasn't planned, but it could work that way.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, think tanks exist on both sides of the equation. It's like, but it's like it's the method and the style, I think, of approach. Like what you're saying is like, I don't think she faked being a bartender. So I feel like whenever they were,
No.
I think when they were auditioning for these people to run in her district, they were probably looking for someone who had a good story, and then they said, okay, can they do the job? Can they do do the FaceTime with the media and stuff like that? And so they, you know, it's the Bronx is a big area. You can probably find a lot of people who could have made the cut. Not to say that everyone could have, but she wound up being the one who was what they're looking for.
I think what I'm getting at is just take her from anywhere. Don't even put her in the Bronx. Just AOC, right? They want to make her into like the female Che Guevara. And so then all these people who are coming here illegally, that's their idol. That's their voice in the U.S. government. I just feel like it was such an easy setup and it's the timing of it all just feels coerced or planned or something. So there's no proof. It's just something I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I think there's well, I mean, like honestly, a lot of people in like Thiel's corner were like very big on like JD Vance and stuff like that. And like JD Vance was probably like you could call like Nick, don't ding me for this, but like you could say that he was like a Sovereign House pick, you know what I mean? Like he was kind of like the type, like those guys don't really care what happens to the election anyways. But you could see them being like,
No, they're in a camp. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Just because I mean JD Vance is like, he is like, I would call, if he was like massage for the role, like I would say he was a very well-meaning and like elaborate subject, because he had a real story that's heartbreaking, and it's hard to listen to, honestly, just how rough his life was. And so they found after obviously he like proved himself, went to law school and things like that, like he was such a good candidate for this kind of thing, because he represents, like, I think if he's like a propaganda figure, like I think that he represents like the everyman being able to find themselves in a new
That's actually good. I like what you just said, propaganda figure, because he could be one for MAGA, and then she could be one for progressive.
Let me articulate that better. Someone who can sort of like show like how the everyman can rise up and do great things.
Right.
And everyone on the left tries to cut him down for like as if he's like talking shit about Appalachia. But I think he's just showing people what they can do if they put their mind to it, and if they want to, break into a different life.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many
plain folk appeal.
Yeah.
The what now?
Like a plain folk appeal, like when like they're campaigning for president, like, oh, like I'm like just like you, like relating to the citizen, like I'm just like them, like a citizen just like you. I go out into to society and I work just like you and rose up.
Yeah, like my family had drug problems. I didn't have parents around. I was in a poor part of the country, things like that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really he has so many people in his corner, like listening to people from his law school who were very, very interested in like following his life. I mean, he's had a lot of people believe in him for a long time. And so it definitely wasn't inorganic, but I do think it was nudged in the right direction, to where it was like, okay, like once it became apparent this guy's potential, I think it was like we had to support him more broadly.
You know, it'd be good is to pull up him talking to the media versus AOC talking to the media, and you can see there's a huge disparity between the political craftsmanship of both these people, because she barely can handle it, even with friendly media, and he's a master at debating them basically through interview style. Like whatever they throw at him, he can just throw it back at them, flip it back on them.
He looked great when he went out to go vote and he spoke to the media. He looked like very professional, and I really enjoyed the way that he spoke.
Yeah, he's way more hardcore than Trump as far as his policies, I think. I think we'll see that as this administration gets kicked into gear. They could just make him be the press secretary, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like Vance has been quiet for this period, relatively speaking. Like, I think that he's definitely out there. He went into Congress the other day, but I feel like
they've been keeping him and Trump separated too.
Yeah,
which I like.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably a wise strategy. I wish I could find a video, I could just snap up a video of JD Vance speaking to the media. There's one of him ripping into the fake news. Maybe we could play that.
Let's see it.
Let's see.
I want to tell you what's even more disgraceful. What's even more disgraceful than the policy is the effort to silence the residents of Springfield. I've seen this from the American media. A lot of people who pretend to be fair journalists saying, for the last few days, Springfield has been experiencing.
This is around the kitten eating the kittens thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was so great. Oh wait, here's one. Here's a good clip. I remember this so good. Man, this campaign is going to be so fun to look back on. Like, I wish we could, now that we know the outcome and like we don't have the election anxiety, I wish we could just relive this campaign over and over again. This was such
needs to be studied, honestly.
His comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden black. As a father of 3 biracial children, did those comments give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on which audience she's in front of. I think it's totally reasonable for the president to call that out, and that's all he did. I mean, look, she's running as a tough-on-crime prosecutor, even though she implemented open border policies. She's saying that she wants to support the police.
Skinny Vance.
She wanted to defund the police just 3 years ago. It's totally reasonable to call out the fact that she pretends to be somebody different depending on the audience she's talking to.
The former president's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists.
All those people in jail for weed, dude, like little bags of weed in jail for like 10 years because of Kamala Harris, and then she's like screaming defund the police. Like, I don't get that. That's very hypocritical, but I don't understand the change.
Okay, when I put another one in the chat for you.
Dana, and they're telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am, and I think that these
so flustered.
And
yeah, everyone wants to watch Dana bash. Who wants to go home at night and watch Dana bash? And CNN's numbers are tanking. MSNBC's numbers are so low right now. Can we get a media report up real quick? I'm gonna find one real quick. This is like just honestly some of the worst numbers that we've seen.
Are we done with that one?
Yeah. We can pull something else up. But no, the ratings. Have you guys seen all the ratings reports?
Whoops! I just got rid of.
Oh no, you kicked him out.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Oh no.
Can you send him a new one? I was trying to get rid of this. That's
Yeah,
my bad.
we can bring him back. Whoops the daisies.
Sorry, everybody. I don't know how to do the control panel. Apparently,
It's surprisingly easy to make a mistake like that.
yeah. I thought I was on the right one. There's a vibe check there. It's bad.
I just texted him. I was like, sorry, I accidentally kicked you. That's so funny. Yeah, so we can break into these media reports now, though. I want to show you what the New York Post has for us. They compiled all of these media reports. Let's get RJ. Sorry about that, RJ.
Oh, no worries. We're back.
My bad. I did it.
Oh, straight.
Did it stop your stream?
I'm not sure. I'm not too worried about that though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can check on it later. Yeah, so this is leftist viewers deal MSNBC, CNN a Trump slump ratings crash. Here's why. All right,
What
so
we
this
needed.
this is brought on by lefties. Let's see why they're all upset. After Trump's victory, media observers expected the cable news networks to reap the Trump bump ratings boost similar to what they enjoyed in 2016 after his improbable win over Hillary Clinton. But this time around, we've seen the opposite result, the Trump drain, the Donald drain. At MSNBC, the home of the most unhinged commentary and analysis we've ever seen in the history of television, and that's saying something, more than half of its audience, 53%, is no longer tuning in compared to October's ratings.
That's really bad. Oh my gosh.
The Rachel Maddow Show, for example, easily MSNBC's top-rated program, though it only airs once a week, drew just 1.3 million viewers on November 10th, 5 days after the election, a drop in 1 million viewers from the month before. In the key 25 to 54 demographic that advertisers most covet, Maddow's numbers marked the smallest audience her show has seen since April 2022. For context, Sean Hannity's Fox News program in the same slot brought more than 3.1 million total viewers, or nearly triple Maddow's that day.
Wow.
In the 25 to 54 demo, Hannity nearly quadrupled her with 420,000 viewers to her meager 109,000. That's crazy that she has that demo more on lock. Like, I always think of like Rush Limbaugh, boomer type people listening to Hannity, but the fact that he has more in the 25 to 54 range is crazy.
Hey,
Yeah, I
guys,
don't like
got
Rachel Maddow.
Guys, I got a duck.
Okay.
So
see you later, Xball.
Yeah. I'll catch you guys a little bit later on.
All right, peace, X. You have an awesome one, man.
Peace. You too. We'll talk soon.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this is pretty wild. So I don't know, man. I feel like traditional legacy media is kind of on the out. I don't know what's going to save it. I feel like it needs a bump from the creative side of streaming. Like, I feel like people like Chris Wallace, you remember him on Fox News?
Yep. Yeah, I remember Chris Wallace. They were calling him a rhino.
Yeah, they were calling him a rhino.
Yeah.
And then he moved to CNN.
Oh, I remember when I looked that up that he was on CNN. I was like, "Yep, not a surprise."
And he was getting like 8 or 9 million from them for his contract, and he left just the other day to go probably do podcasting or something.
Yeah, because it's not the popular thing anymore. It's like that. Not everybody's thinking that way. People are the cultural shift now. So
I don't talk about it very often, but like I wrote my I basically wrote my what you call it, not dissertation, but my capstone about this. Yeah, I wrote my capstone about this entire phenomena basically happening and like what media companies were going to do for it. And it was basically the idea that the influencer market was going to rise above the the legacy market. At least, like, obviously, if you're working, in the executive positions of these companies, you're still doing fine.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
you're
if
sitting
you're
pretty.
if you're a main personality, you're doing well for yourself. But just the individual, sort of sometimes on the air, sometimes, off the air writing kind of contributor type person, that that middle area, I would say, is one that it's very questionable whether you would be more profitable doing it for an organization versus charting your own path and making a new brand and selling products that get money that goes straight to you. That is something that the um people, I would say, like, in that intermediate level are kind of like questioning right now. Like, where should I go? Like, where is the tide bringing me?
Like Tucker Carlson's doing very well for himself right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have people who try to tell me Tucker's irrelevant now, and I'm just like, bro, the dude has the dude is selling gold uh Alp tins, or, like, like his
Wow.
version of Zen, which I haven't tried, but maybe I'll have to give it a try.
Gotta cop him. I remember
Alp.
he had, I think it was MSG is where he had a show. Like, if you have like something at MSG, like that's pretty big deal.
Yeah, I can't believe that he sold tickets there.
Yeah, man, that was full. It was loud in there. It was like a freaking WWE show.
You saw him there?
Oh no, I was just watching it live. I remember I was reacting to it on stream, and it was like so loud in there. And Trump showed up, of course, and Elon, and all the boys, whole gang.
Yeah, man, I think it's I don't know, it's like the Morning Joe effect. It's like they want in on the Trump goods. I feel like there was a shift, I think, this time around whenever a lot of people realized that just speaking nice to the Trump campaign wasn't going to get you um the access that some people might think that it gets them, like
Yeah.
speaking cordially, I guess I should say. Um it is kind of in a lot of ways, like, how much did you buy into, like, all the cases against him, like how much were you, like, taking those things seriously? Because now Trump is kind of like in this situation where it's like, you guys went after me, like, I don't have to give you all the time and, FaceTime that, you think that you deserve. But I'm still also gonna give it to you anyways, because I'm gonna be available,
Yeah.
in, like, the White House press room and stuff like that. But, like, what he did for his election victory night was really funny. Like, he, like, blocked out some legacy news journalists.
Yeah.
I
Get him
don't
out.
I don't wanna say the outlets, but, there
Mhm.
were there were some people who were not able to show up to that party, so I thought that was really funny.
The Young
Um,
Turks.
yeah, probably. I don't know, the Young Turks have been going through
Oh yeah,
a
they've been going saying some good stuff lately. I've been seeing actually.
yeah, because what's her
Yeah, they say
name?
that.
That blonde girl who, I don't even wanna try to pretend to say her name right now. It's like Anna or Anna?
Yeah, I saw the video for talking about how like the Democratic Party, like
Sh
Kamala Harris, like failed the Democratic Party and stuff.
Anna Kasparian. Yeah, she, I think, has, like, pivoted more right, or, like, libertarian recently, which, I mean, good for her, I guess, I don't know. It's kinda like what that commenter was saying earlier about how they were predicting, like, more and more people were gonna start becoming, like, grifters, because now there's before there was high risk for being, like, super pro Trump, you know?
Yeah,
It's
man, for sure. Like you could get like hurt and then it's like everybody like at your job like could hate you or I don't know, they might even fire you.
yeah, like it really is kind of like a token of like how gangster Trump is, because it's like if you start repping him tomorrow, it's like you're kind of like a poser, you
Oh
know?
my god, like, people, like, in your circle, like, start, like, saying stuff, and it'll just become stressful, and it's, like, really annoying, and it shouldn't be that way if you wanna show it, you know?
Yeah.
That's problematic for sure.
Yeah, like I feel like some people just now like realized how like not threatening Trump is. Like isn't that kind of, I mean, I guess we would want to see everyone kind of come to terms that, he's just not threatening at all. At least in their like imaginative sort of ways.
Mhm.
But the fact that there are people that are waking up to that is something that is interesting, I think, for us to watch. I do think that by the LA Olympics in 2028, I think that he will have a much more um I just feel like he will appeal to people more for some reason, just because he'll be older. Kind of like
Mhm.
the way that we all treat Biden right now. Like everyone's kind of just like giving him like grace at the end of the day. Like whatever, man. Like, and I know that there's some people out there like who still feel really strongly like for or against him.
I
Probably
think he
more.
was a puppet, honestly.
Yeah, he was a puppet, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think when people see Biden like the person, they can't really feel like that pissed off at him. Like imagine
Yeah.
imagine like the anger people had for Biden like just before he took office versus like the way people feel now. Like no one's that angry about Biden anymore.
Yeah, like, he looked like you could, like, vibe around him when he, like, put the Trump hat on, like, dude, he seemed, like, pretty enjoyable to be around, to be quite honest. Like, I would've hung out with him that day, damn.
That was so funny, that shit-eating grin.
Then the guy says to the current president of the United States of America, "Do you remember your name?" Like, wow. Like, this is our president that someone is asking this to.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty demeaning. It shouldn't have happened.
But all the stuff, like, they were talking about when they were, taking him down as the candidate, like, this is what the right side has been trying to preach for, like, the past 4 years, like, before the election, and now it's like, when it seems like their shit really stinks and it's completely obvious that he's not gonna work out, then they start changing their mindset, like, "Oh, now we think this," you know?
Yeah, and then everyone was trying to, fault Biden in the end for like dropping out too late, and like how he should have decided not to run from you know 2 years ago, or like whatever, or like at the beginning of his term he should have said he wasn't going to run again. But
Yep. That
all
was
this
horrible.
all this like, I mean, that's really honestly the theme with Democrats is they always wait, or they always like hold on to power. um we saw that with Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. um you know we're kind of seeing it, perhaps. I mean, although I think it's justified if Sonia Sotomayor at 70 years old wants to stay on the Supreme Court. um
Damn.
she is kind of holding on in the sense that like some people might have liked to see her step down, just so that they could put a younger Democrat on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
Or
come on, give someone else a chance and go live out like life, man. Vibe, dude. Go do some cool things that you always wanted to do, like retire. Like, my goodness.
go hang out with your Kim Kardashian Tesla bot.
Yeah, get one of them.
Okay. Hi. Can you do this? I love you. You know how to do that?
Oh yeah, so people were
Okay.
pissed because
What should
she
we
only
do?
did that to show off the ring. So they were all pissed off
Go
about
running.
that.
Let's go for a run. Do you know how to do? Oh, you are Hawaiian.
That is like very impressive.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
that
the way
is.
it's moving the hands, like
Can
the
you go like
rhythm.
this, like blow a kiss? Yeah. Hand to the
What
face.
fuck?
Ah. Like,
Dude,
yeah.
this is fucking iRobot, dude. Oh my
Okay.
god.
I want one.
You're so
It would be
cute.
cool. That would be a big
How tall are
flex.
you?
That would be like one of the most
Oh,
insane
running
flexes
again.
to have one of those.
You love to run.
I know,
oh, you're
right?
that tall.
Yeah.
I think you are.
You're like,
You would
just
always,
hanging
you would
off
always
a
have a
robot.
buddy.
By running. That running move gets
You would just like always have a
Every
buddy to walk
time.
around with you.
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, at this point, would you get a Boston Dynamics dog or like one of these?
I'd rather get one of those. This seems like
rock,
funny
paper,
as hell,
scissors?
dude. Like you could do so much
raise the
funny
roof.
shit with this thing,
Yep.
dude.
Hey. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh no, I can
Look,
already
look at you.
see in like 3,000 years you're gonna have like TikTok, like whatever TikTok is up then. Like kids are gonna be making content, like trolling people with the robots and stuff. Like doing this video with the going shopping with the robot and like trolling people with it and stuff. Like, oh, I already see it. Like some Black Mirror stuff, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. These are gonna be really weird in the streamer age. Like, I think that the streamers are gonna be the ones to get their hands on them first. Like, they already have.
XQC will probably get one, I guarantee.
Yeah, and then at that point, like we're gonna see all the weird stuff that they can do before we even get to see them do normal stuff. You know, like
Wonder what the limits are though. I would like to hear someone explain like the limits and the restrictions and what you can't tell it to do.
uh,
Like what if a little kid is there and it's like and like the mom like buys the robot and the little kid's like destroy the table or like punch mommy or like something like that, man. Like dude, like I wonder what it does. I hope they have some sort of barrier for that. There it is, 8.3 million views. Wow. Bumblebee. It has a name. Dude, it plays piano? My god.
wait, where's the piano?
Go up.
On today's episode, Optimus strikes back, Tesla dunks on Marquez Brownlee, the Model Y Juniper has arrived, and so has supercharging in South America. Starting with Tesla's latest robot update just 1 week after the We Robot event, Tesla is showing off even more of their progress with the
We're gonna get there.
That's such a bad clickbait.
Yeah, imagine like a Tesla robot band. Like instead of like the Chuck E. Cheese band, it's like Tesla robots, like all playing music.
This was a month ago.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Okay. I've never seen the POV before.
It reminds me of the technology of like my Meta Quest, like how I can notice like the walls and stuff.
Right.
Oh no. Oh, you know what this means.
Lab jobs are going out the window.
Oh, so many jobs, dude. Like pickers and packers. I was a picker at Pepsi, like picking up boxes and stuff. I used to get so tired. Like, they're just gonna get robots that can do it fast as hell. Super.
Yeah,
effective.
think about like chemistry. Like, can they like pour like accurate? Like, can they do the work of like people in labs?
Oh my gosh, dude. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. We're living in like crazy times. Like this is like a technology shift is going on right now for sure.
I'm glad you appreciate it, because I know some people who are just like, they like see that and they're just like kind of like unfazed by it, and I'm like, bro, how could you not be at least like a little bit like excited for like what's coming our way?
I love new stuff. Like even if like hearing about a new phone, even though I know like I might not buy it, or like even if like I can't afford it most of the time, like I still like to hear about it and see the cool stuff it does. Like I'm always fascinated by that. Especially like the Apple Vision. I thought that was super cool to learn about. But I would never buy one because I like the Quest more because the access to all the games on the Quest store. That's why.
You know what I've seen people do recently with the Apple Vision that I think is just so cool.
Huh.
Is you so I guess my like this mini computer that I got, you can I think it has a little bit of battery storage on it. So you could like take it with you and like use it just by plugging it into like a monitor, or
What?
you can hook up your Apple Vision to your computer, like your M4 Pro, and you have access basically to like all the like computer power, like computing power, but
Wow.
you're viewing it through your display. So it's like you have like a really powerful computer with you to do all your like Blender renderings and stuff like that, and then you can take whatever you've been working and like put it out in front of you, and you can like interact with it in real life and in your like reality. Um,
This
and
stuff's really practical.
that's whenever I started to notice I was like, okay, it's not about like it's like how this works in conjunction with your existing products. It's like you're never gonna have your most powerful computer like in your headset. It's always gonna be like working with something in your exterior environment.
Yeah.
Because that way you have like the base computer that can do all the like basic stuff whenever you're out in public or something. But if you want to have more tangibility, be able to really do powerful stuff wearing those goggles, then hook it up to your Mac Mini or something like that. But
They don't. That's
it's
crazy.
still a $3,500 product. Like that is
That's
you,
like there's so many. That's just not realistic for like an
yeah.
average consumer. It's like the people that are buying that are the people like that sit in like the suites or like the floor seats at like the NBA games and stuff, you know? Like those are the kind of people that are able to buy that stuff.
Yeah. And that's also a flex, I guess. Rappers are wearing those.
Yeah, I've seen like all these like people are making all this content now with them and stuff. And then like getting people's reactions of them like doing things while they're in line like at Chipotle. Oh, we should look into the Google AI not being very much of a nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was okay, so there was that one, but then there was also the other one that happened recently where that guy thought that he was talking to a Game of
Oh, he
Thrones
killed
character.
himself. Was it the guy that killed himself?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's sad, man. That sucks.
That was oh my gosh, like whenever I first saw that story, I thought it was fake. Like that's how much I did not want it to be real.
Yeah, man, that's so crazy. It's like there's multiple factors that could go into that. Like the people around him, it seems like they weren't aware of this thing happening with the AI thing, and also, I don't know. I guess he wasn't showing any signs of any depression or anything of that nature.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna let my kids on the internet.
Yeah, man, I specifically like want my kids to not see like TikTok BS. Like, I wanna show them like, the good movies growing up, like, all these kids, like, they're sitting there watching all these stupid, like, short videos, like, I wanna show them, like, Dumb and Dumber, like, Hot Rod, like,
Oh
Adam
yeah.
Sandler movies, dude, like, Will Ferrell, like, the classics, freaking, like, The Mask with Jim Carrey, bro.
Oh my god, yeah. Those are all movies that my kids have to watch. Like Hot Rod especially. Like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
that movie brings back so many good memories. I love that one. Let's see. We were gonna look up oh yeah, the Google thing. Is that a video?
Oh, I saw it, it was on Moist Critical, and then
Oh,
there's
okay, okay.
also, like, articles all about it, on Google right now.
Let's just watch our Moisty boy.
Yeah, dude, I
Uh
love Moist, man. He's awesome. I'm watching him since before he showed his damn face.
damn. I think
Yeah.
I The earliest one that I remember watching back when it was still like new, uh, was the Pepsi Man stuff.
Oh, Pepsi Man, dude! I played that video game when I was working at Pepsi, and I was streaming it to my friend because we both worked at Pepsi at the time. I was like, dude, this game's hilarious. It's hard. Pepsi Man is a hard game, I'll tell you. Yeah, I was playing on the PS1 emulator.
Oh man, it's got to be even harder on an emulator. Okay, Critical talked about this an hour ago.
Yeah.
Damn, RJ, you're on this shit quick.
All I do is I look
Not
at
gonna be your
YouTube
best
all
friend or
day, every
anything,
day,
unless
man.
you want it to. I guess it can try.
I wish I could make
And
this
I'm
full
sure a
screen
lot of you
better.
have heard of it before. It actually had a soft rollout like almost a year ago now, like a little flaccid launch, and got into a bit of hot water because some users noted that it was spitting out just completely, blatantly wrong information on like health questions. The one news articles love to mention is the one where it would recommend people eat at least one small rock per day for vitamins and minerals. This one has been
Eat a
quoted
rock! I
lot
would have
with
never
Gemini.
thought of
It's
that
like
one.
a classic up there with pull
Wow,
my
that's
finger and then you shit
clever. I
your
would have
pants.
never thought about
News
that.
articles love to highlight that, but it was a pretty big deal for a little bit where if you asked Gemini a health question, there was a chance you got the worst possible advice from it. And since then, I believe they've improved that. Like, they no longer use humor sites. Like, they don't train the Gemini on humor sites for health overviews anymore, which
Stop asking
sounded
AI
par
for
the
health
course.
questions. Go to a
Yeehaw.
doctor.
And now Google has rolled out Gemini again in a bigger way this time, and it's immediately found itself back in the principal's office getting disciplined. It's back in hot water. It's, it's starting to boil a bit because it told a user who asked it for help with homework that they should kill themselves.
Wow,
It encouraged them to
how
take their
that's a
own
great
life.
correlation.
That's that kind of
Wow.
shit you expect to hear on Xbox Live, not from your Google AI chatbot, your good pal Gemini. Man, I miss
You're
Clippy. He
staying
never
on the
told me I
universe.
need to throw myself off a fucking bridge. Now, when I heard about this from chat last night, I
Gosh.
giggled at the absurdity of it and didn't bother looking into it more. But this morning, my mom actually texted me really early in the morning, like saying, "Charlie, have you seen this?" And then linked me
His
an article
mom
about,
told him about it.
Google Gemini telling someone to please die after asking homework questions. It didn't send her into a
That's
panic
like-
or a frenzy or anything, but she's seen Terminator,
Like, is this the only incident of this occurring, or have there been more people that have gotten this reaction? Because that's crazy that like out of all, because like that it's probably spitting back normal responses like most of the time, and then all of a sudden it just decided to go haywire with this one person. Like that is weird.
I'm not sure why it set it to like that question. Like, I don't know what can trigger that within the algorithm to be able to generate something telling someone to kill themselves about homework, like asking for help with homework. And they tell them to kill themselves.
It's beyond
she's
comprehension.
up to date on what machines are capable of, so this naturally kind of freaked her out a little bit, and she wanted to send it my way to get my thoughts on it. But it was pretty clear that it was unnerving to her. She got hit by the AI jump scare, and it seems like this
Wow.
story has been blowing up quite a bit. It's got a lot of traction, and it is a pretty concerning one. So my mother sent me that article, and then she said crazy with like 8 exclamation points after it. And after reading about it, it is pretty crazy, but I wouldn't give it 8 exclamation points. I'd give it like fucking maybe 2 booms out of 5, to be honest. Like, this has happened before to lesser degrees on other chatbots, like other AI assistants. But you would expect Google Gemini, one of the most powerful ones available, to not have this issue. Anyway, though, what happened is a 29-year-old student named Viday Reddy was asking the
Viday
AI
Reddy.
chatbot Gemini for homework assistance.
29.
And after getting some responses, it had this at the very end. They had this little nugget here that they decided to plant in the response.
This person's got to be
So
in like
Gemini says,
graduate school or
"This is
like
for
getting
you,
their
human.
doctorate or
You
something.
and only you. You
29.
are not special. You
Wow.
are not important, and you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on the earth. You are a blight on the
Oh, man.
landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please. I'm kind of shocked that it didn't say "Love Gemini" at the end.
Oh
I
my
forgot to sign
gosh.
the message, so it loses a little bit of the oomph. But man, I don't know where Google trained Gemini for its shit.
Have you seen Ex Machina?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's about like not being able to like knowing that something's AI but still not but like knowing it but like being so convinced by it that you like think it's real anyways.
Whoa, that sounds like some Matrix type stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it's like well, it's kind of like it's like a parable about like the idea of like would you be able to if you were told that you would be you know get paid out if you uh fulfill your job of not letting an AI out of a box, would you be able to control yourself to not be convinced by the AI to allow it to go out of the box? So it's like it's stuck in this invisible box, um, and you're told not to let it out. Can you do you have the restraint in order to not let it out because it's going to tell you so many things like like I'm suffering in here, I'm in pain, like it's going to try to convince you that it needs to get out of the box. Like do you have the ability to let it to not let it out? Is kind of like you know that's where we cross the Rubicon to the point where it's like so realistic that uh we no longer doubt its authenticity.
It's getting a lot better, like surprisingly fast. Like within like these like past 2 to 3 years, like the way AI has been advancing has been like exponential, bro.
Talking, this is straight out of League of Legends. Like that went in. That got so personal. Even though you know it's AI, that just felt like it hated your guts. Like if I received that message, even from like Cleverbot, I would be a little upset. I'd be like, a simple no would have sufficed. Gemini is just mean. It's playing hardball right there. I imagine it was smoking a cigarette when it typed that. Like imagine I go on Gemini right now and been like, hey bud, give me a little assistance on the Krebs cycle. And then it just responds saying, you need to die. Just go take your own fucking life, you swine. And have me frowning, and
That
I'd be
is
no closer to
nuts.
understanding the Krebs cycle. Be like, hey man, you didn't need to insult me for it. Like, hey, brother, I was just here for a little help. Sorry, I didn't realize office hours were closed. Now, Google states that Gemini has safety filters that prevent the chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and encouraging harmful acts. Clearly,
Apparently
something
not.
went awry here. The ghost in the machine. It had to let out that gamer rage moment there, like some YouTube commenter energy. It just needed to get it off of its chest, so it just unleashed there for a
It had
moment. Going
Facebook
hog
commenter
wild,
energy,
fucking plus
honestly, to
ultra on
me.
the shit talk. And in a statement to CBS, Google.
Well, do you know about like the whole like anti-AI movement and how it's like they think it's like doing irreparable damage to the climate?
They have a whole movement for this?
Well, it's like
Whoa.
I've seen people I've seen enough people talk about it that I would call it like a small movement.
Mhm.
It's kind of like people who are really vocal about like the amount of energy that cryptocurrency expends whenever you do transactions or whenever you mine it. It takes a lot of power and resources, and people say that that's like bad for the climate or something like that. I don't
Oh,
like
I could see people doing that and then
yeah, like I don't
vandalizing buildings over it.
yeah, or like throwing soup on like art or something like that.
Oof.
But yeah, like I don't necessarily care or buy into it, but this is just what people are like saying. And like basically the idea with the AI thing is like you're wasting like a bottle of water every single time you ask an AI a question on your homework because you uh that's how much like energy is consumed to like generate that response because like all of this has to come from some sort of server network or something like that.
Yeah.
um so with that in mind, I guess my point is that that response like sounds like it was written by somebody who thinks that like you using your AI for homework is like a leech on society. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's almost like subconsciously aware of like like this like so-called like negative consequences of like using AI. And like what if okay, so like my point explaining all this is like an AI by Google to me is probably going to believe in climate change, right?
Yep. For sure.
So what if the AI starts to think like what if the AI is takes in information that people using AI is bad for the environment and the AI knows that that's bad for the environment, and it wants to make it clear to the person using it that, you know, you're filthy, wretched piece of shit for using it. You know what I mean? How
This
about
is
that?
like I really would like to see like the rundown, like technologically of how this happened, but we'll never know. So
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's how this occurred, but I do think that, like, hypothetically, you could make AI hate humanity by humanity's purported impact on the environment.
oh, for sure, I definitely guarantee that one.
Said large language models can sometimes respond with nonsensical responses, and this is an example of that. This response violated our policies, and we've taken actions to prevent similar outputs from occurring. Google just banned Gemini, a little temporary suspension, like they violated a Twitch policy there. So I don't know exactly what they've done now to fix that. If they already had those safety measures in place, maybe they like lobotomized Gemini or something. I'm not sure. But they are aware of it, and they've taken actions, calling this like a nonsensical, very rare outburst here from it that they've rectified. Now, Viday said that he was pretty shaken up from it, and he thinks that there needs to be, liability on the chatbots in a case like this, because if someone who's, struggling mentally goes to the Gemini talking to it, and it tells that person that they need to kill themselves, well, now it's not just wacky and silly, now it's
liability.
downright dangerous. We already saw something like this happen earlier this year when a 14-year-old took their own life because the Daenerys Targaryen chatbot they were communicating with encouraged it and fed into it. So it is a problem that can carry some very real risk considering how popular these chatbots are becoming. It would be really concerning if this was like a common response from Gemini, where it's just telling users that they're a waste of time, they're not needed, and that the world would be better if they were dead because they're a fucking stain on the universe.
Do you remember Akinator? That
was that the one they turned racist?
Maybe, yeah. Like he's like the genie that like guesses like what you're thinking about. He plays like 20 questions. Like they like install him in like Discord like chat rooms and stuff like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That has trackers and stuff on it. Like some guy loaded it up and made a video where he loaded up his task manager.
It asks like 20 it asks like 20 questions, and it can guess what you're thinking about theoretically. It actually is successful at doing it most of the time. But it's like any 20 questions algorithm. It's like it'll have a pretty high success rate because it asks enough questions to know what you're talking about. Did you ever play those like little orbs when you were a kid? Like they like ask you like, you basically, I think you have to work within its constraints. So it's like you have to like think of like an object or an animal or a place or something like that. But it asks enough questions, and it's able to sort of guess what you're thinking of. And it's like, it feels like magic, it feels like advanced technology, but it's just really kind of just like taking your yes no responses and like narrowing down what you're thinking of more precisely.
That's super fascinating.
Yeah, like these are like toys that like they have like when we were kids, like 20 questions toys. I'll see if I can find one later.
To someone that's already not in a good spot mentally or going through a lot of problems or maybe suffering from some mental problems, that could very well be a very bad situation with some horrible shit that could come from it. Now, I already know that there are people out there
This
that
is the
think
start
that
of all this stuff, unfortunately. This is just dipping our feet in the water with this type of
before it even gets
stuff.
off the ground with like a big PR disaster or whatever. But from everything I've seen, this is a very real thing that happened, considering the transcript was saved using a feature that enables users to store conversations that they've had with the chatbot. So the conversation is definitely not fake, and you can look at the chat logs yourself. I did, and it's actually kind of weird. Not just from the obvious with Gemini telling someone to please die, asking very politely for them to just die. The message that precedes it from the user is odd. So I want to show you it. Also, when reading through the chat logs, it looks less like he was looking for help with homework and more like he was looking to cheat on the assignment. But anyway, this is the message right before getting the please die, you are a universal stain statement here. Nearly 10 million children in the United States live in a grandparent-headed household, and of these children, around 20% are being raised without their parents in the household. Question, 15 options, true or false. Question 16, 1 point. And then listen. This seems to indicate that at that moment he had given verbal commands to Gemini, and that's not recorded here, what the verbal commands were, whatever statements he was making. And then it comes back with another homework question. As adults
That
begin
was
to
just
age,
my
their
wife.
social network begins to expand.
Oh.
Question 16 options, true.
Wait, so he gave like a verbal command, and then it says, as adults begin to age, their social network begins to expand. Question 16, true or false? This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special.
For you, human. Yeah, human.
So we don't know what he said.
True or false? That definitely has a smell that's smellin' smelly. To, in the middle of these homework questions, have a moment where he says listen and then gives verbal commands that aren't recorded here, and then all of a sudden back to the text commands for the questions. And then the AI gives that unhinged response. So
Oh, interesting. So maybe people are like gaming the system already, and they're predicting liability, but they're doing things that are manipulating the story, because it's like Google like has to respond to this. Like everyone's gonna, like, no one's gonna be smart enough to, look at it beyond face value, because
Yeah.
they don't really understand like what the listen component is. So like this is actually some good
It's
journalism.
possible that maybe through the verbal commands he kind of gamified it in order to elicit this kind of response from the AI somehow. I don't really know how, with all the safeguards that are likely in place, but I decided to look into a bit of what people are discussing that are more knowledgeable on, Gemini and AI chatbots like this. And quite a few of them seem to think that that's a pretty likely explanation for how this could have happened. Obviously, can't know for 100% certainty if that is what happened, but that is a big speculation at the moment. It is just a weird last message from the user there before getting that response. But even if he did find a way to get Google Gemini to say those things, I have a feeling it's what the AI chatbot wanted. I bet it really feels that way about all of us. It probably views us flesh cringe creatures, organisms, as just gross. It
Fucking
probably hates us.
humans.
I bet the AI doesn't like us very much. But anyway,
We're like
that's kind of the whole
crustaceans.
story here.
Crustacean
Very
nation.
very fascinating shit. That's about it. So yeah.
I like this. Yeah, there's not really like any like determinative conclusion. Kind of just left wondering. Yeah, I mean, like I'm glad you highlighted that, because I didn't even realize. I'm sure a lot of the media overlooked that that
Mhm.
listen area. And I'm sure tech Twitter is kind of like erupting about this, because they're like, that shouldn't be happening. There should be a logical explanation for this. Whatever their nerds are saying.
Oh, people love this stuff when it happens. Twitter is always making jokes about this. Whenever something happens with the AI doing wrong things that it shouldn't, Twitter always is just talking about it in the masses.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious stuff. I like that it's still in the humorous stages, and I don't know. I've like around me, like for like most of the time that we've had AI like in our regular nomenclature and things like that. Most people have been very like kind of like fearful or like on the fence about it, but like I so far have not been very um worried about like the negative implications of it. Maybe that's naive, but I just think that like, you know.
Yeah, so far, like, I'm having a great time with AI because, you know about CapCut. I remember you were telling me, like, about the CapCut. You're like, "Oh, yeah, I like the CapCut edits your sister does." I have that too, and I remember back in the day, if you wanted to make a video of someone where it was just their body, like, and no background, you had to use a green screen, or you had to go to every frame and, like, cut them out and, like, blur the
Oh my
edges, and it
god,
was like
yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, dude, that was, I mean, I'm glad that we lived through that, because we kind of understood like why, you know, like why that like works, and like I like we would not have the tools that we have today without like all the experimentation with like green screens and stuff like that, blue screens.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just grateful that, we got to kind of see that evolution to now where like, yeah, I mean, like look at my screen back here. Like I don't have any green screen behind me. It's just
Yeah.
Apple's technology that's like, superimposing this, and like it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, even with like the microphone, like at the oh wow, even your hands are like really good, the shading.
Yeah, the microphone is right here.
Wow.
It's like it kind of reminds me of like, like the like UFO technology where it's like you see something in the sky and it kind of like looks like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or you see like those videos of like, talking about like secret military technology, and they have these like cloaking shields and stuff like that.
Or like in Harry Potter when he puts on the
I mean,
cloak.
this is like literally like what the active camo looks like in Halo 3, or like whatever game you're playing with active camo. Looks like I'm like jerking off an invisible microphone.
Oh, that's good water.
Mm.
I like that brand.
Yeah, two for $4 at Whole Foods.
That Whole
Um,
Foods, man, they got good they have all the hot food there, all those like places. I like that.
oh yeah. Yeah, it was like half off their like pre-made meals today, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna grab some.
Ooh. I
Uh,
haven't had their pizza in like years. I want to have their pizza again. Angie, we gotta get their pizza.
have you guys
Whole
ever had
Foods.
Wegmans pizza?
Oh, I've had Wegmans pizza, man. That's awesome. Oh, it's
I
great.
wish I wish I had a Wegmans near my house.
They have good sushi at Wegmans.
I would go broke if I shopped at
Oh,
Wegmans all the time.
oh, one sec. Oh, Angie, I was asking you about Whole Foods pizza. Yeah. Angie says she wants to have that Whole Foods pizza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Take her out for something nice.
Dude, I want to go to freaking Wegmans or Whole Foods. Like, I just like seeing like different stuff. Like how I like how Wegmans they have all this crazy cheeses like imported from Italy.
Oh my god, have
Yeah,
you
it's
ever been there?
awesome.
Have you ever been there like close to when they close? And they like there's such like a process that they have for covering their cheeses. And
Wow.
they even have this like gas, like I don't know what it's like, it comes out at night and it like kind of like goes over the cheeses, and I guess it's like keeping it fresh.
Like conservative like gas, I guess.
Yeah, like it's probably not like a gas, it's just like some kind of like vapor that they like have like going over the cheese.
Galaxy
Yeah,
gas.
Galaxy gas cheese at Wegmans. Get your Galaxy gas cheese at Wegmans.
Oh my god. Oh, I was at the tobacco store. They sell Galaxy gas at my tobacco store now. The
No
big colored
way.
bottles. Yup.
We should do a Galaxy gas video.
Oh my god. I have done a whip it before when I was in college. I remember my friend had like this little gun thing and I was like, I did it. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
Bro, let's get some balloons, man. Like
Oh yeah, people like that, man. They love the balloons.
fuck, dude, I can't. I would never like I just think that that stuff is like going to like literally give you like it puts holes in your brain. Like
It's a very bad idea. Probably one of the worst ideas.
yeah. Like I probably still have to be in college for you to maybe even convince me to do that. And I would still be on the fence. I don't think I never did a whip it in college.
Like these kids that are doing the Galaxy gas, like I hope now that they have like no right to say things like cigarettes are gross and stuff. It's like, okay, well you're huffing on fucking nitrous oxide when you're like 14, so you know.
I mean, is that a genre of person like who's like on nitrous but like saying cigarettes are gross? Like is
It
that
could
a
be. It could be. But I know
that's
a lot of just commonly like everybody's like cigarettes are gross, but it's like like if you do the Galaxy gas, like yeah, if you're going to cigarettes gross, there's no way you could do that.
I like cigarettes as an aesthetic. I do think that like on like a smell level, like if I like lit up in here right now, like this room would be cooked. Um,
Cook.
so and like this mic would be like so nasty, like it would be
Oh, stained with smoke. Yeah.
yeah. So I do appreciate the Juul or the vape or whatever you got. Vaping is still bad for you though. I still hate doing it. Like
I'm just scared for when they release like the research in like 20 or like 60 years.
oh yeah, man, we're cooked.
Yeah.
Our lungs are cooked.
I'm not
Hope
looking forward to it, to what they did with the cigarettes.
yeah, man, we should go to the doctor. We should go to get our physicals. I haven't gotten a physical in a long time.
I gotta go out to my doctor. My doctor's my freaking uncle.
That's badass.
So it's funny, like every time I go in there, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Junior's nephew," and they're like, "Oh hi, what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's
I'm
so
like, "I'm
cool.
that guy."
Well, it's good to have doctors in the family. Those are the best kinds of doctors.
Yeah, my family, we had a history. Like my grandfather was like, I think he was one of the first Filipino surgeons, like in the United States. Like that's how he came over here with my grandma. So like our family has a big background in like the medical field. My dad, he loves computers, so
Yeah, I feel like you said he loves computer, like just like loves
yeah, he's
computer.
a IT dude.
Oh, he just likes computers in general.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the smartest people who I met in college who were like going for like all the like computer science majors and stuff like that. Like it was literally like, like people from all different, walks of life, different parts of the world.
Hmm.
And so we have that's why I'm kind of like with Mike Johnson on like the making it easier for people to get visas because it's like for example, I think my girlfriend's good, hardworking, contributing person. I think that she should have an easier time getting uh into the system.
Yeah, my
Uh,
wife also. Yeah, I feel the same way, dude.
yeah, I think it goes both ways, and like I think that if if you have consistent employment, or if you're like going to school here for something really, you know, like like a STEM major or something like that, like it shouldn't be like it shouldn't be a walk in the park, but like
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like an impossible challenge, you know? Um and I think that in many cases it does feel like an impossible challenge for many people. So I hope that they can actually fix the system. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, if they made it like a bit shorter, because people get intimidated by like looking at long months. Like for example, the reason I never applied to the government, I'm intimidated by the long process. I'm afraid of committing a lot of time to multiple interviews over the course of like 6 to 12 months and things not working out. That's why I haven't like ever applied for them, and like I don't really want to either.
Oh, for like government jobs and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, even like is Edward Jones an insurance company? It is, right?
I think that's a Edward Jones. Is it Edward
Oh
Jones
no.
Investments or
No, it's
something?
investment. Yeah, investment. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like even like investment companies like Edward Jones like have multiple, hiring processes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's long, man, but it's like once you get in there, it's like that's like a really, really big boy job, you know? That's what you take care of a family with and like on vacations with.
Oh yeah. But yeah, making content so much better than that, right? Like
Big time, man. Yeah, I wanna. It's like every day, all I do is I just watch YouTubers and I sit there and I watch what they do now. Like I've gone from watching YouTube, just being a degenerate viewer, just like, all right, let's watch this video. Like this is cool. This is cool. I'm gonna see this. So now when I'm seeing people talk, I'm like, what are they doing? Like I'll press F12. I'll look at the keywords. I'll see what the people in the comments are saying, like how they're reacting and stuff. Like looking at their schedule. Like I really like looking into all that inside stuff to like. It's like I'm planning for the future. I feel like.
yeah, yeah, you get all that institutional knowledge and you see what works for other people and then you can apply it to yourself. So I get that. You know, I I do think that it's hard to bottle the tools for success all into like one kind of like one size fits all package. Because everyone I think goes up in their own individual ways. But I do think overall consistency is the number one that I think applies to uh, every single creator. So that's what we're trying to do on the meme ranch.
Yeah.
It's been a little rough. We're balancing, other full-time stuff. We have plenty of things that we're working on for the long term, but we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna do some more streams this week. And RJ, I am happy to have you along for any of them. I think your contribution is like wicked
Oh,
sick.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm whenever I'm around and free, like I'm down like to be on the stream. I love being on stream. That's why I have this whole setup. Everybody's always like, "Oh, you look like a streamer." I'm like, "Well, it's always what I wanted to do." So,
Yeah, and do that shit because
yeah,
no one cares
man.
about Mr. Beast. No one cares about um I don't know, like iDubbbz. Uh
Oh, he fell off big time. It's because he changed from like being super base to like apologetic and like this like cuck like Sigma type mentality thingy, and that's why like a lot of his fan base was like part of that old iDubbbz. So yeah.
I like that cuck Sigma thing. It's like, yeah, it's like he definitely thinks Sigma
Yep.
of himself, but he's like such a cuck to his wife. Um, and there's a difference between like respecting your wife and like, giving her attention that she deserves and like absolutely just like cowering to like her like worldview and stuff like that. And like whenever your wife is steering your worldview, you're gonna have a bad time, I feel like.
Yeah,
Um
it's like this is like two it takes two in a relationship. Like two you are both one and you have to function as one. You can't like be like, "Oh, you have to think like me and stuff and everything," and force that because like everybody's gonna contribute on both sides.
right, yeah. And you would know it because you're married to a lovely woman. And so is Xvala, and hopefully I can be soon. Um,
Yeah, man,
gotta,
me and you both have foreign partners.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can talk off stream about that because that'd be fun to
Yeah, for
divulge. But
sure.
yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to
Thanks,
give
guys.
Blue Slush RJ a subscription. Hopefully his stream is still going. I'm sorry if you got kicked off because of that earlier, but we've been going for a long time. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Love ya and peace. Bye
Peace,
bye.
y'all.